Thank you, Mr. Williams, and a pleasant afternoon to everyone. This afternoon, I will share with you the Health Emergency Operating Committee's situation report for Tuesday, June the 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, within the last 24 hours, the Ministry of Health has received positive results for 4 additional confirmed of COVID-19. We have started contact tracing for the original 2. The results of the last 2 cases just came in within the last 5 minutes. These 4 additional cases will be referred to as cases number 70 through to number 73. So as at present, the Federation has reported 73 confirmed of COVID-19, 59 cases St. Kitts, 14 cases Nevis. Please note that 48 cases have fully recovered. At present, we are following and monitoring 25 active cases. The public health team has conducted in-depth interviews with cases number 70 and case number 71. Again, the public health team has conducted in-depth interviews with cases number 70 and 71. And we have not found a link between these 2 cases and any of the recently confirmed cases. And there isn't a recent travel history to or from a hotspot. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the information we have, this is a state of community spread. A state of community spread implies that the virus is now circulating in the community. And so it's theoretically possible for someone within the community to contract or pick up COVID-19. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the virus needs the human body to move from one person to another. And so as individuals, we now have an individual and collective responsibility to break the chains of transmission of this virus. And we can do so by using the measures that we have been recommending for the last few months. And these measures include vaccination and adherence to the COVID-19 prevention and control measures. In particular, the wearing of the face mask, maintaining adequate hand sanitation, and physical distancing. Now, the Ministry of Health, our main task at present is to contain this wave of COVID-19 cases. Our aim is to flatten the curve and make sure that we have minimum number of persons being impacted or becoming or contracting this disease. And so we are employing the well-known public health measures, including contact tracing. The contacts are placed in quarantine. The cases are placed in isolation. We are testing all contacts, and we are also doing targeted testing. So there are a few communities whereby we will be just doing targeted testing with respect to individuals who may have been exposed to the virus. Contact tracing is a process whereby the public health team identifies, evaluates, and manages those persons who were exposed to the virus. And the aim is to prevent the onward transmission of the virus. And this works. Contact tracing is well known to break the chains of transmission. So the Ministry of Health, we have been engaged in this process since Wednesday, May 18th, and we will continue. All right, so we'll be continuing our testing of contacts and targeted testing. So now in this vein, I want to share some information. On the holiday weekend, we would have gone to the Sandy Point Primary School. We would have tested those students in grade 1 and grade 2, and the student households were placed in self-quarantine. So in other words, on the holiday weekend, the students, they received their first test, along with the teachers at the Sandy Point Primary School. Now, the end of their quarantine period is fast approaching, and so the Ministry of Health will be coming back or going back to the Sandy Point Primary School on Thursday, June the 3rd at 9 a.m. The students in grade 1 and grade 2, along with all the teachers. So once these tests return, if the tests return negative, then the students and the teachers will be officially released from quarantine. Same thing will be done at the Charles E. Mills Secondary School. Again, the team, we went there last holiday weekend. The students and teachers, they got their first test. Now, the second testing will take place this week, June 3rd at 2:30 p.m. And so we are asking the students to return to the school this coming Thursday at 2:30 p.m. For your second COVID-19 end of quarantine test. In terms of the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School, those students who were tested previously, that's last week, Wednesday, Thursday, we are asking you to return to the school this week, Wednesday, which is tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. So that's Wednesday, June the 2nd at 4 p.m. so that you can receive your end of quarantine COVID-19 test. So in other words, the self-quarantine period requires 2 tests. One at the beginning of the quarantine period, and then as the final test at the end of the quarantine period. Once your test result returns negative, then you will be free, you will be officially discharged from quarantine. The public health team will be visiting the Washington Archibald High School on Friday morning this coming Friday, June the 4th at 7 a.m. Yes, as early as 7 a.m. such that the students who were tested, they will get their end of quarantine COVID-19 test at this time. The public health team will move right on to the Bastia High School on Friday at noon, lunchtime, in order for the students at the Bastia High School to be retested. And then on Saturday morning, June the 5th at 10 a.m., the public health team will be going back to the Tyrrell Williams Primary School in order for the students and the teachers who are implicated to receive their end of quarantine COVID-19 test. Now, the 311 operators, they are receiving a number of calls regarding the quarantine and isolation order. So the individuals who are in isolation, meaning the cases, and those who are in quarantine at a government or COVID-19 certified facility, and those individuals, those family members who are in self-quarantine, they are requesting that official letter that certifies that they were placed in isolation or quarantine in order for them to submit same to their employers, and this letter can also be used for their Social Security claims. So we are asking you to submit your request through the headmaster of either of the 6 high schools. That is, if your child or your ward is placed in self-quarantine. However, if you are not in any way related to the school system, we are asking you to submit your request through the 311 operator such that your letter be prepared so that you can submit same to your employer and it can be utilized for your Social Security claim. Again, the contact tracing exercise continues. All right, so we just announced 4 additional cases, and so the public health team will continue their robust contact tracing process in order to identify the contacts test, and we will also conduct targeted testing in some of the implicated communities. Now, the Astrazeneca, Oxford, okay, yeah, there are three recent recoveries. Yeah, so we have a total of, 3 recent recoveries. Now, the Astrazeneca Oxford vaccine, we continue to offer same. Again, this vaccine provides you significant protection against the SARS-CoV-2 or the COVID-19 virus. It reduces your risk of contracting same. It reduces your risk of transmitting the virus. Once you're fully vaccinated, you enjoy a reduced risk in becoming very ill from this virus. And the manufacturers assure us that it reduces your risk of dying from this virus. Now, we're getting a number of questions regarding the dosing interval. Now, when we started our camp or program, when we launched or implemented our COVID-19 vaccine program, originally we were given 10 weeks appointments between dose 1 and dose 2 of the vaccine. However, we all are aware that the shelf life of the vaccines is limited. They expire by the end of June this month. And so if you come in tomorrow for your vaccine, you will be given a 1-month appointment. So there will be a 1-month interval between your first dose and second dose. Please note that the manufacturers, has advised that the dosing interval can be 1 month, and it can be as long as 12 weeks. So that's the window within which we are working. So now, if we have individuals coming in to the health centers this week, Friday, for the Astrazeneca Oxford vaccine, you will then receive a 12-week appointment, and so your next shot will be given when we receive the next batch of vaccines. Again, our national COVID-19 vaccination program was launched on February the 22nd. Now, as at end of workday yesterday, the team administered a total of 27,173 COVID-19 vaccines, 20,654 in St. Kitts, 6,519 vaccine doses administered in Nevis. So, ladies and gentlemen, almost 60% of the target population in the Federation has been covered with the first dose of this vaccine. Almost 23% of the target population is fully vaccinated, covered with the 2 doses of the Astrazeneca Oxford vaccine. So let me repeat, almost 60% of the target population covered with the first dose, almost 23% of the target population fully vaccinated or has received the second dose. I just want us to be reminded of the SRNOs number 14 and 15. Just to remind you, our schools remain closed until June the 8th in the initial instance. And then there is restriction of public transport, whereby the buses and the ferry, the capacity is limited to 50% capacity. And there is also a restriction on contact sports. Let me elaborate. And I'll read and I'll quote from the SRNO. No person shall attend sports training or practice sessions for amateur or other recreational sporting events at this time. In reference to the 2 World Cup qualification matches, only approved officials and players can attend the 2 upcoming World Cup qualification matches scheduled for June the 4th and June the 8th. Let me repeat, only approved officials and players can attend the 2 World Cup qualification matches. These matches are scheduled for June the 4th and June the 8th. June the 4th, St. Kitts versus Guyana. June the 8th, Guyana versus Puerto Rico. So in other words, no spectators are allowed at these two upcoming World Cup qualification matches. SRNO 15, there's restriction of movement, curfew, daily curfew between 11 p.m. until 5 a.m., and a restriction on regional and international tourists who are expected to submit proof of full vaccination as of May the 29th. Citizens and residents are exempted. However, please note all inbound passengers must still complete the entry form on the KNA travel form URL or website, and all inbound passengers must still submit results of a negative RT-PCR test done within 72 hours of travel to the Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember anything else this afternoon, please, it's of paramount importance that you wear your face mask once you walk through your front door in the mornings, and you keep it on until you get back home at nights. Wearing your face mask is of paramount importance at this time. It's going to protect you from the virus that is circulating. Please always maintain good hand hygiene. You need to make sure you get a little bottle of hand sanitizer and walk with it. Make sure your hands are cleaned at all times, especially after touching those high-touch areas, doorknobs, counters, when you're going to the stores, when you're going to the banks, etc. And when you're going to the grocery stores and you're pushing the trolley with your groceries, make sure you sanitize immediately afterwards. Always maintain 6 feet distance away from others. Avoid crowds at this time. Please, we are asking you to adhere to measures. These measures are going to make the difference between those of us who are negative and those who would contract the disease. Protect yourself from the COVID-19 virus that's circulating. Do not wait, vaccinate. Thank you.